What's up, you guys? Welcome to the channel. This is Davo, and we are talking about the debt snowball principle, method, whatever you want to call it, but we're going a little further into applying it into our investing strategy. And we're going to use some numbers of our personal finances to talk about it. So stick around. That's right, you guys. I'm going to be talking about the debt snowball. Many of you probably already know about it. Many of you are probably not in debt, but those of you who are and don't know about it might be interested in listening. You might want to listen anyway, but we're going to talk about how it can help you out first of all, and then we're going to talk about how we applied it into our investing strategy, because it's not always all about debt. So let's get started by looking at a blackboard, or a blue board actually. The debt snowball principle, if you don't know what it is the idea that a little snowball can roll down a snow hill and become a big snowball. That's the basic principle of it. But instead of using snowballs, we like to use money and say there's lots of money at the bottom of the hill. And this hill being how much debt you owe. Okay? And this money being how much money you're spending to get rid of it. I don't know. That's a very complicated way of discussing it probably. Let's use a practical example. Very first thing you need to do is, if you're in debt, make a big list of your debts. So car, school loan, credit card, that big TV we bought. Okay? We make a big list of our debt balances. Okay? That's the biggest focus, is what balance we have left. And these are big debts probably, but we're going to exaggerate a little bit. We're not usually including our house though. It's usually just consumer debt. So let's say we have 4 debts, just to keep things simple. And that looks like a total of 32,000, 25, 32,000. Okay, and that really doesn't matter so much. That just makes you feel bad about life. And so we don't care. We don't care. What we do care about is making sure we have minimum payments established with our creditor, whoever they are, so that we know exactly what we need to pay monthly to keep this thing afloat, to keep our credit score growing instead of going downhill. So let's just throw out some random numbers here. Perhaps you have established an agreement of, well, that made math harder, 280. So we have a 3, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 930, if I didn't make any mistakes, of debt going out our door every single month because we had to have that car and that motorcycle and that school loan and that TV, and we couldn't live without it. But now it's costing us, because these are also with interest, most likely. We don't want to get down on our luck. We want to focus on what we can do. And what we can do is identify that smallest one and pay it off as fast as possible. About $100 is going to that. And so we're going to say in month number 1, you're going to take that smallest one, you're going to push it to the side for a second. You're going to pay off 280. You're going to pay off 350. You're going to pay off 200. And on this one, you're going to pay off definitely the 100 of it, but you're also going to go crazy and try to find some money to pay that balance off. You need to pay this off as fast as possible. Let's say that you can get 400 extra this month from working really hard on something, perhaps. So you paid off 500, and then in month number 2, you also were able to do that. Paid off in 2 months a debt of 1,000 euros. And so in month number 3, now we don't pay it, and this 100, and maybe even if you can continue that 400, can go straight into paying off this next smallest balance. This is really important, because the next month we would now be able to put 300 as easily, because we were already paying it off here. So 100 plus 200 equals 300. And either way, no matter what, you've always got 930 or more going to your debt payoff every single month. And that becomes like a snowball until maybe in month number 25, you are finally paying off this big $15,000 balance by throwing 930 or more euros at it, dollars at it every single month. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to apply it to investing a little bit farther, because this is throwing debt down, but we want to watch the snow kind of roll back up the hill, in my opinion. I don't know. It should be called something else. Oh, maybe it's called compound interest. Let's use that same calculator. I'm the calculator. And what we're going to do is tell a story. We're going to tell a story of a timeline, and it's kind of like related to the last time I was here. The story I'd like to tell is a story about time. In August of 2014, my family bought a house. My wife and I. We actually bought it, but we moved into it in August. Okay, so that was the point in which we started saving money. We were now rent-free because we bought it on auction, and that auction was cheap enough that we were now mortgage-free too. We didn't have to get a mortgage on it. It was a really, really cheap house. We are happy. We are rent-free. So last video I calculated that we were at like 650 euros of savings every single month, and now it's been 77 months, and that is a savings of around 50,000 euro. And that's amazing, but actually the story I'd like to tell is a little bit different, because we're going to focus on the timeline of things. From August until January 2018, we were saving. Now there was another purchase that I shared also on this channel that you can see in the description. My brother-in-law lives in it right now. But this one right here, we decided to invest for reals. We were going to buy an apartment and rent it out no matter what. And that's what we did. We went to the auction again. I found a property on sale for 34,500 euros. On auction, 5 minutes away, and we were the only ones that came. So that was good news. And in order to participate in that, I had to have a 10% deposit, which is 3,450 euros, okay? Well, if I look at how much savings, I definitely don't have 50K yet. This is about 41 months from August to January, if I counted right. 650 times 41 is actually 26,650, I think. If I do it wrong, you can always correct me. It's not a problem. We're not trying to balloon numbers for no reason. So this is the idea. From this number right here, we had to pull out 3,450 euros, which basically left us with 23,200 euros left. Well, that's cool. 23,200 euros is what our balance was. Well, that brought us about 4 months later, which means our balance went up by about 2,600 euros again. Back to 25,000, because remember, we're saving 650 euros still every single month from being debt-free. Well, we decided we don't want to lose on the opportunity. We'll pay for the house now. So we had to pay the rest of the property balance, which 34,500 plus taxes was probably about 37 minus 3,450. We're sitting at around 33,550 left. To do this, we got a loan. In May 2018, we owed still like 33,450, 550, and we subtracted a mortgage of 28,000. You know, there's actually some fees and stuff involved, but at this point we should have been with about 5,000 left. That has to come out of our cash reserve. If I subtract the 5,550, it actually means that I have 20,250 left, and this is cash in our piggy bank still. In June of 2018, we started to divide it into two. And what happened is, at that exact moment, a family of 6 people, we have 2 big heads and 4 little heads, they decided to say, hey, we're coming, we have 2 weeks, you just got the keys, and we will be there as soon as possible. We actually let them live there for free because we knew that we wanted to keep them as renters and that we would set up a contract as soon as the renovation was done. So what happened was, between June and August, they lived on this side while we renovated this side, and then they switched and we finished the other side that next month. In September 2018, we had another family of 6 move into the other side with 2 big heads and 4 little heads. 4 little heads are 4 kids, by the way. We actually set up 2 rent contracts with these 2 families. 470 euros of gross rent each. Okay, so we had about 960 euros of gross rent income coming into our bank account every single month. Now we do have to consider that there are expenses that go out the door, obviously. From this 960 of gross rents, we have these expenses. We have a 15-year mortgage, and so we actually pay about 191, but I always round it up to 200. We have to pay a property tax, which is called EMU, not an emu, but that equals about 80 per month for both properties together. This is called cedolare secca. This is an income tax because we have to pay tax on that income. This is a 21% rate. There are other strategies. You can use IRPEF and do deductions, but this is a simple calculation and doesn't involve the rest of your income. Here, it's actually 202, but we're going to calculate 200 again since we rounded down and rounded up. And then we have insurance. So insurance is about 50, okay? And so total, it puts us at 530 of expenses. And that's pretty exciting. If I subtract the two, 960 minus 530 actually is a 430 of net rents. This is the actual money that we get to keep in our pocket. We've been talking about how we've saved for about 45 months. Actually, I think it's more like 50 by the end of the whole calculation. 50 months of 650 euros of rent savings saved altogether. Plus, later on, we added another 430 euros of more income coming in, okay? This is the whole point of why we're talking about this right now. We were talking about our rent savings, and now we are actually making money from rent income that was created by savings. It's pretty cool how it all kind of rotates around. Since August of 2014 up until about September 2018, we were saving 650 euros times, and I believe it's around 50 months total. So that's actually 32,500 euros saved from those rents. Well, then in September, we are now snowballing. Okay, we are now snowballing the opposite direction of 2018 until today being basically the end of November. So we're just going to say November 2020. Today is December 1st. Happy December. We made it. Can you believe we made it to December in this year? We are at 650 plus 430 of more savings, right? And so that's 1080p. 1080 profit. 1080 is not as great as 4K, but we're working on it. We have 1080 euros of savings multiplied by the rest of these months, these 27 months up until this period. So what used to take us about 50 months now takes us only 40 months. We're literally knocked 10 months off of our period of time in which we can save the same amount of money. So the more often that we do that, the faster that we can continue to follow the same pattern, and it just snowballs until our time is snowballing. We can literally make investments tomorrow as opposed to 10 years in the future or 3-4 years in the future like we've done previously. So I'm challenging any of you to go ahead and apply this to yourselves. The idea that if you can start saving money, now get out of debt first. You make your choices how you manage your finances, but I advise that you do get out of debt as soon as possible in order to throw debt payments into your savings to make it snowball even faster the other direction. Someday we're gonna all be sitting pretty here in Italy, enjoying the beach together. That's my thoughts on the thing. Thanks everyone for checking out this video. I hope that the whole presentation behind me was doable and enjoyable. Thanks a lot for paying attention. We'll see you next time.